Hey, Gazoo, letting some stink blow off you? G'day, hi, and welcome. All right, ode to the most incredible knife that has ever existed in the world. Now, probably shouldn't touch the handle. Ugh. Watch out, I sharpened that thing when I put it away. Got most of the mold off of it in the puddle. Yeah. This is my K-bar Binky, and we're going to go inside. Or maybe we'll stay outside here. I don't think it's too windy. What I do need is something to wipe this off. Particular handle because it's full of mold. I basically last night I went through my knife collection. I opened it up. There was a couple of knives that had mold on them. I know why this has mold on it. Actually, we'll go in and we'll wash it off. It has mold on it because this was my trapping knife, and there's years of dead fish and would say dead fish. You got oh geez, beaver guts on there, you name it. Lots of icky stuff on there, like that. Time to wash off my knife. Now these K-bars are pretty resilient knives. They're great knives, they really are. Get all that mold off. I know how to take care of this knife. I know how to take care of this knife. Get some hot water on there. If that get like steaming hot, that'll kill the mold. But this knife has been through just about everything. I saw a show last night. Not a show, but a YouTube vlogger team. There you go. Mold gone. Mold taken care of. Vaporized. There you go. That's how you deal with mold on a knife. There you go. Good for another 5 years. Yeah. Don't worry. I'll get this knife all cleaned up. Now, this knife has been through a lot. And by a lot, I mean a lot. So, I'm going to do get some sunshine on it. I'm going to kind of like leave it upside down a bit just so it can kind of drain rather than putting the... You know, go right in the screw there. Yeah, rather than going straight into the, never get this in the right direction. I can just go let the wind blow that off. And these knives are really good. Are they perfect? No. Is there better for cheaper? Absolutely. You can get a lot of knife for the money, but these are good knives. All you guys out there that do the batoning and stuff like this knife has been through a lot. It's been thrown about 1,500 times. It's cut the head off a dead bear. Yeah. It's gutted a deer. Maybe two. Helping friends, whatever. And it's probably chopped 10,000 spruce boughs on my trapping runs. It's hacked up God knows how many beaver carcasses. And fishing knife, it's been used as a screwdriver. It's been used pretty much as everything you could think of, all kinds of bushcraft. Well, this knife has done a lot. It really has done a lot. And it's been bent. I mean, there are some drawbacks to a K-bar, believe it or not. People get very fanboy about stuff, and I get that. And this is just for those who are curious. This is obviously an original K-bar USMC. I don't know what model number this one is. This is like the basic one, but with the serrades. Now, I have a couple of K-bars, and I do plan on getting a couple more. Oh, that must be my cousin. The cousins are out to play. Yeah. So anyway, this knife here, it served me well. Now, some of the flaws on this knife is, it is an old design. It is a very old design. And some of the flaws are basically the handle. As great as the handle is, like, I mean, even after all that, like that part of the handle is fine. It doesn't slip very. This is like stacked leather, right? Where the problem is the weight of the handle, which is great as a fighting knife, but where it's not so great is that you have a lot of weight. So I was watching these two guys trying to prove like how much K-bars suck, and they baseball bat swinged it with a baseball, a homemade baseball. And what happened is They hit it right about here, which bent the blade. Now, if you throw this knife, because of the weight of the handle, you can see this knife is kind of bent. I've bent it a few times, and I bent it bad, and I bent it back. And then from throwing it about 1,500 times, I bent these. Now, if I bend them back, they'll just break off. So I just left them because it could, it's a little bit of a grip. But I abused this knife on purpose. Now, batoning it, I did baton it a little bit just to see if it would take it. But I would never baton a knife in a real world situation because that's a dumb thing to do. You'd never sacrifice a knife like that if you were lost in the bush. So yeah, the weight of the handle, which makes these knives really well balanced and really fast as a fighting knife, is also what makes them, it works against them whenever they're hit on the side, because you have a lot of leverage from the handle, right? So you create a hinge point right there. Other thing is that's where the water wants to sit on these. You can see there's a little bit of rust in there. Just on that side. I figured there was enough beaver guts and oil in there that shouldn't have happened, but that's where they're going to break, is right there. That's where they're going to break. If they break. Now, if you treat it like a normal knife and you don't go stupid with it, this is all the knife you'd ever need. Maybe a newer version, something not so quite worn out. But that said, this knife isn't really worn out. It's just beat up. I mean, I got to sharpen it again, but that's sharp enough. I'm not going to cut it into the deck. My dad would kill me. But yeah, this is a good blade. I'd prefer the ones without the serrades. When I bought this years ago from an army surplus place, and I liked it. I was able to get, I ordered it up and I ordered this one. And then the only thing I don't like about the serrades is you can't resharpen them, but they do hold up for a long time. My little cousins yelling away, the two little girls yelling away there. Must be playing with the dogs. But anyway, yeah, so, for cutting rope, stuff like that. But the thing is that's one of the things I didn't like. But as the tip's pretty good on this. Again, it will break. You can break any knife. I don't care how much. A $3,000 knife you can break just as easy as you can break this. Some break slightly, like every knife has its weak points. So some knives are going to break easier than others. I'm just going to go back. I think the wind is going to start blowing. And the problem you get, quite simply, is that even if you have a knife that's $1 million, there's going to be something in it, no matter how it's clenched or whatever. And some knives, again, better designs than others. This is an old design, so you get old design flaws in it. It is really basically a rendition of the World War II knife, just better built. So they're not indestructible, but they're not a bad knife. Anybody that says these are a bad knife, they're silly. These are great knives. Bang for the buck, yes, you can get better for cheaper, but you can't quite get the same for cheaper. Like, there's a lot of knockoffs out there, and all the knockoffs are like cheap stainless or whatever, and they're no good whatsoever. But this is a good knife. I mean, you can use this thing chopping and stuff like that as a bush knife. The only problem with this knife for like bushcraft is it's a little short, actually. It's a little bit on the small side, and I found that out on my trapping runs. That's why I went to a bigger knife, because you hit your knuckles trying to get the spruce browse. So, but other than that, no, it's a great knife, and this is probably the best knife that have ever existed in history, because Binky and I have been through a lot. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Not much of a video, but I just wanted to make fun of the stuff on mold on the knife. I was quite surprised when I found it, but that's probably from all kinds of God knows what's on. Like, the handle is preserved. It's just, the mold, but it didn't take much to clean it up. So yeah, there we go. Anyway, I highly recommend the K-Bar. Even if it's not the best knife in the world, it is a good knife. All right. Have yourselves a great day, eh?